Right, hi guys. So yeah, obviously I'm Jon, I'm BDM at Clove. Basically I do everything that nobody else wants to. Really, it's not as exciting as it sounds. So I've got our team here at the back, got Richard, Russ, Chris and Josh. Some of you may already know them, speak to them, etc., but they're all part of the team. So hopefully I'm not going to bore you. Actually, who here knows who Clove are? Or probably who doesn't know who we are? Probably would be an easier one. One. Well, it kind of makes my presentation redundant, really, doesn't it? So I keep it short and sweet, really, and hopefully we can get on to something more interesting. So basically, give you a bit of background about who we are. So we are a UK-based smartphone and accessories specialist, established back in 1992, so that's quite a long time ago in terms of tech. Founded by Jon Love, and if you're wondering what the relation is, he is my uncle. And I've worked my way from the bottom. I didn't come straight into that role, so before you all think, yeah, nice little role there, no, that's not the case. So we are online only at clove.co.uk, and we're based locally in Poole. We've recently just moved into some nice new big, I would say posh, but they're not that posh, really, offices, to hopefully allow us to better serve you guys. So where it all began, some of you may remember some of these. Yeah, this one, the slide was before my time really, but yeah, this is where it all sort of began and where it's evolved. And nowadays, well, you've got all the devices that we sell, so you kind of know what it's all about. So I'm going to start with a couple of myths really. You probably will think we sit there playing with phones. We really don't. Of course there are some times when we do, but not as many or as much time as you probably think we do. We do have work to do, unfortunately. We'd love to sit there. And we can't test apps and software the moment they come out, which some people believe. You know, something comes out at 12 o'clock and by 1 o'clock you've got someone asking, what's it like, have you tried it yet? Unfortunately, sometimes we haven't even heard the news on those. So again, we'd like to, but we don't. Another little myth is that we make shed loads of money on everything we sell. Obviously, we're in business to make money, but the profit margins are dwindling. So that's why we look into new product lines and stuff, but it's getting harder and harder and harder. And you guys probably seen firsthand the fact that you can pick up a phone for like 100, 150 quid nowadays. It doesn't take much to realise there isn't so much money in it anymore. And a lot of you probably wonder whether we know what devices are coming out in the future. Yes and no. Some manufacturers are very tight-lipped and won't tell you anything, even though it's all across the internet. Other manufacturers are very upcoming and telling you what is coming. So the Motorola event next week, I know what's going to be there. Probably a lot of you do already, but I'm not going to confirm that either way. LG and Motorola and other companies in the future, there's a lot of exciting stuff. So one of the things about Clove, we try and make ourselves a little bit different to everybody else. We are a niche player, and that's the way we kind of intend to stay. What makes us different, I think, is about the people. We try and be personable, try and put a face on the company. If you've probably seen our YouTube channel, it's my ugly mug up there the whole time. We are users of the handsets. We're not just some bloke in a phone shop that's just been told to sell off a sales pitch. We will tell it how it is. We want to be honest about the phones that we sell and the products and tell you the good and bad bits, because at the end of the day you want to use them. If we tell you it's brilliant and actually there's some really rubbish bits about it, then we're going to be honest, because it's better to be honest and you're going to respect us hopefully for that. And that comes into the honesty there really. A few things that we try and do to keep ourselves ahead of the game, if you like, is, you probably know we run a blog, we've got YouTube, we try and be as active as possible on social media. I do wonder sometimes how you lot get time for social media. You seem to be on it all day, every day. So I don't know if you're working or not, but well, good on you, I can't do it basically. And we try and work on relationships quite a lot, so that's with the manufacturers, with forums, blogs. We try and have that bit more personal touch. I know there's bigger companies out there that can throw a lot of marketing money at it, but we try and make ourselves a little bit different and try and show a little bit of value that perhaps other companies can't do. And one of the big things that we try and focus on, and I'm not saying we get it right, is we try and focus on the customer journey. And what I mean by that is from the outset of them thinking I want a new phone to actually buying it, using it, and then right through to the point of where they want to change it again. We try and help them at every point that we can and provide them with all the information they can. So be it specs, be it even review, be it questions about some software on the device, we try and answer it and try and accommodate for everyone. A lot of our audience are the more techie guys like yourself, which is great, but then we do have a lot of people who are first-time smartphone users, so we've got to try and accommodate for their needs as well. So if our blog sometimes is a little bit boring with basic bits, sorry, we kind of need to do it for the wider audience that exists out there. So a little bit about the smartphone market. I don't really need to tell you this because you're probably well aware that it's certainly maturing. It's not what it was. There's increasing competition out there from all the manufacturers. I remember sitting in meetings a couple of years ago saying they were going to simplify their product lines, but to me they seem to have got more complicated. Samsung. I mean, it's just a joke. Trying to arrange all those products is unbelievable. Great as they are, it's a logistical nightmare. So when you wonder when we don't have certain SKUs, some of those are commercial decisions not to simply arrange them, because if you've got to have one device in about 6 different colours with 6 different memory variants and things like that, it can be quite tedious. And of course, the ownership time of phones is increasing. You're probably an exception to the rule for a lot of you, because you keep yours for about 6 days, I suppose. But a lot of customers are keeping their phone for 12 to 24 months now. So it was always 12 months, but now it's obviously a lot longer. I know personally I'm keeping my phones for longer because I'm quite content with what I've got. That may not go for everyone, but we're seeing that trend. And that makes it a little bit more difficult, and that's where we sort of have to start looking at other avenues to explore. So accessories is something that we focus on quite heavily, but even this is maturing a lot. There was a time when accessories came a lot later after the device, you had to wait, but nowadays they're actually coming in before, which is excellent for you really and for us, but it means that more people have access to them, there's more people trying to sell them. Prices are going up of those as well. Samsung, again, like 50 quid for a case, really? That's pretty expensive in my eyes. But everything's going up, even cheaper cases now, people are seeing the opportunity to make margin on those. So one of the ongoing battles we have is the high street against us as online, and that goes for other online retailers. And you probably see a lot of it where high streets get the phones before us online guys, and it's an ongoing battle that we try to win, but unfortunately in the manufacturer's eyes, high street presence always wins. It doesn't matter whether online guys could sell 10 times what the high street would. It's all about visibility, and they do a lot on their statistics. So Samsung and LG, they always want to be at the top of the statistics online, and they will do whatever it takes to make sure that that happens. That's primarily through presence on the high street that gets them the sales. So we do have a battle with a lot of those high street retailers. There's more room for margin on the high street generally because the manufacturers see it as a key area. So it's a challenge. Online as well, of course, the price is always driven down, and at some point you have to make some money. We can't give everything away from free. We live in this world where everyone's free delivery. Yeah, unfortunately, I need to eat and pay the mortgage. So think about that next time you're arguing for free delivery or whatever. So, as Paul's touched on, smart wearables is of course the future, really. We are moving into this with the Sony smartwatch and Samsung Galaxy Gear products. We've had tremendous success with Sony smartwatches. They've been a really good seller for us. But it's an exciting new space to be in. There's increasing choice for you as a consumer. Which one is going to be the winner? I think it's hard to tell at the moment. I mean, Paul touched on that a bit, but there's so many out there at the moment, aren't there? Which one's going to win? It's going to be about who actually adopts it. I mean, Samsung can throw loads of money at it and have loads of different options, but it doesn't necessarily make it the best watch or the one that everybody wants to have. So it's an interesting time and one we'll be looking to follow up on. But the one thing that we're really focusing on is the smart home. And this is a really exciting opportunity, I think, for us and for you guys with some of the products that are actually coming out in the near future. Now, our modern lifestyle has obviously led us to be more mobile and needing a more connected home, and often the connected home is related to elite individuals who have home automation, you know, the curtains that can shut at 6 o'clock in the evening and the heating controls. It's starting to get to the point where you don't have to have tens of thousands of pounds to be able to do that. And there's also endless opportunities with smart home products. Now what I've got here is the tablet from the Arcos Smart Home. Has anybody heard of this or seen it about? So basically, who hasn't heard of Arcos? Right, everybody's heard of Arcos basically. So they're kind of like a tier 2 brand. They won't deny that, but what they're trying to do is bring out a simple kit that allows you to begin building your smart home. And this tablet and some of the accessories that go with it, this is a little camera, completely wireless, that works in partnership with some other accessories in the kit, and they can act as trigger for certain sequences. So you can have a movement tag on your front door, and when it opens, this camera can take a picture of your front door or whatever's going on, ports it back to the tablet. There's also a mobile app as well, and you can see what's going on. You can have all sorts of things. You can have your lights turn on if you want, connect it through to the socket. It's a really interesting area, and for people who are interested in technology, this could be a good little bit of fun. You know, there could be some nice little pranks you could play on people with this kit as well. So we're going to be following this, and there's going to be some interesting news coming out in the next few weeks from us about Arcos Smart Home. This is a pre-production unit we've got here because it's not commercially available yet, but watch this space, it will be coming very soon. And one of the very interesting things about this is the price. I won't reveal it yet, but keep your eyes out on our blog over the next couple of weeks, because it's fair to say that most people will dump the money on this because the value will make it worth just having a little bit of a play with it for the sake of it. So who will lead the home automation market and the smart home? Well, no one really knows at the moment. You've got big brands out there already doing it. I mean, we've also seen like the Nest thermostats, you've got British Gas with Hive and things. It's made up of loads and loads of players, but probably one of the biggest brands that is going to win is that brand that brings everything together. And Samsung probably be one of those leading brands, as you've probably seen with CDS coverage and stuff like that. You know, they've got the smart washing machines, the television. It's that sort of integration that we think is going to be the way forward, and that's why we're sort of trying to follow that trend and bring those products to you, because let's be honest, we all want that, don't we? How, you know, imagine being out there and turning your washing machine on, your telly on, or whatever. It's cool. Even though your girlfriend might not agree, especially when it costs a fortune. So a little bit about what we do on loan devices, because I know a lot of you guys here follow some of the, the blogs and things out there. We do send out loan devices, but we're not a PR agency. We don't often get loan devices from manufacturers. Some we do, but we don't have a cupboard full of all the latest tech that we can send you. So a lot of what we actually do is our own stock. So we completely appreciate the need to do this, and we do want to send out devices. But inevitably, when 50 odd people come wanting the Xperia Z2 on the day of launch, I can't make 50 Z2s available to everybody, because at the end of the day, I've got to do something with those Z2s. They cost me a fair bit of money, so we try and be fair with what we do, and try and send them out to lots of different people. And it sounds a little bit harsh to say we're supporting the underdog, but there's a lot of big tech blogs out there that get a lot of exposure, but their reviews come out very quickly. They're not always so honest, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, you're going to be using the device, you want to know what you really like, and some of the smaller blogs are going to give you a much more honest, truthful idea of what that product is like. And we really value that, and that's why we try and work with different sites to try and allow them to get access to devices that they previously may not have been able to or struggling with. So we do see that as really important, because we appreciate there's kind of like a community out here, and that's why we're here today to try and help show support. We want to be here. It's helpful for us, but we want to connect with the individuals that we feel are important, and that includes all of you here. So at the back there, some of you have probably already seen that we've got a few bits to show you. So examples of some of the bits we've got here. So come along, switch them all on, have a little play if you haven't already seen them. I'd imagine a lot of you already have. And this day wouldn't be complete without a little competition, would it? So, a lot of you are probably into Android collectibles. So we've got a Mega Android at the back that's got jelly beans in it. The idea is you're going to write down your guess of how many jelly beans are in the Android figure. And at the end of the day, the person who gets the closest guess will win the Android figure, including the Genuines, and a Google Play voucher as well. Another little one, if you want to get your phones out and start tweeting this for a chance to win a 25 Google Play voucher. My phone's about to go nuts, isn't it, with loads of Twitter entries right now.
You've got 4G over here as well, we're fine.
Well, I'll come back to that just in a second. Just the last one, again, we've got another sheet of paper, write your name down on it, and what we can do is going to enter you into a little prize draw and just give away a few other little bits and pieces, so hopefully we can try and give something to most of you here, not everyone unfortunately, but a few bits that hopefully you'll go away with something. There's also some Bluetooth headsets. It sounds really dated, but I've got some there if you'd like to take them on because, well, they need homes basically. So if you want one, do what you like with it. They're there for you, so just come over and give me a shout. And yeah, that's basically it. So if you've got any questions?
What was the Twitter handle again?
I'll leave it there, shall I?
So, do you think, I know personally a lot of people who live abroad who use Clove Technology to buy their devices. A lot of people in Mexico, for example, a couple of the guys from XDA use it. Have you found that you get a lot of usage abroad, more than you do here, or?
Our primary market is, of course, the UK, but the international is extremely important for us because so many markets don't get the handsets. The Middle East is one in particular that they can't get access to handsets very quickly, so we do supply them with the handsets. Japan's actually quite a big market for us as well, primarily for the smart wearables. Believe it or not, the Sony smartwatches were very popular with Japanese people.
From here, rather than Japan, where they're...
Yeah, weird logic, isn't it?
I think it might be cheaper with the imports and everything.
Oh, really?
Compared to the actual price in Japan, when you convert the yen and everything to British pound sterling, it's
But,
just buy it here and import it.
UK is our primary market, that's who we serve as best as possible. And of course, if you didn't already know, it's all SIM-free stock, none of ours actually on contract as well.
Of course, yeah. So do you find that is there a trend moving away from buying the phones and going for more accessories and wearables, or is the phone still a high thing? Because, like for example, I'd love to have SIM-free devices, but you know, I can't buy one every 6 months as much as I'd like to. But I do like to pick up accessories and then move them on to other people, and you know. And have you found that that's an upturn in the market?
I think there's definitely been an increase in the number of people adopting accessories, primarily because they're there, and accessories are playing a more important role, I suppose, with, you know, like the HTC One. It looks gorgeous, but we all know if you drop that thing, it's going to look ugly. So
yeah, I've got the review device.
Well, there you go. Proof that you need accessories. Yeah, so a lot of people are adopting accessories, and this is where things like smart wearables become more popular. A lot of people are opting for the Sony Smartband with the Z2 because it's an interesting product. But cases, yeah, I mean, everybody generally wants a case on their device. Accessory is an accessory. At the end of the day, they don't get too exciting, unfortunately. But they're important. You know, when you spend that much money, you want to take care of your device, and I know especially for a lot of you guys, you want to set it on. So.
Yeah, to buy the next one from you.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody have any more questions for John?
Can we get free delivery? No.
That's great. Thank you very much, John.